Welcome back to Everything with the Landlords. And today it is Military Monday. I am new to this. He is true to this. So
Yes. Welcome my wife, Miss Crystal Landor, to Military Mondays. And today we'll be talking about benefits to being in the Army or just military, because whenever you join the military, there's 1,000 benefits that you and your spouse or family can receive for you paying that service.
Yeah, but every branch is different. So things that Army has, you may not get in the Air Force or the Navy or etc. And vice versa. So, and just knowing that by having other friends whose husband is in the Air Force and Navy, a lot of things differ.
Yeah, but most stuff is kind of, Department of Defense regulated, so that'll cover all the branches of the military. So, but there's a few niches that Army does that Navy may not do, or Air Force may not do. So,
yep.
That's just a quick disclaimer to this video.
So, do you want to start, or you want me to start?
I'll let you start since you're new to this.
Okay. So, one benefit that you get from being in the military is life insurance.
Yes.
And I think this is a big one.
It's a huge one because everyone that's out there just working jobs and have to get life insurance through your job or just separate life insurance. That life insurance is very expensive.
Yes.
Thing with the Army or the military in general is that we use, I want to say all Department of Defense agencies use the same life insurance. So for short, they call it SGLI. Don't quote me on what it stands for. I just know it's called SGLI. But basically, it's $32 a month for full coverage, which is $400,000 on me, $100,000 on my spouse, and then $10,000 on every child that you have.
We have 3.
So, for $32, you can't beat that, because I feel like if you would have a almost $500,000 policy on yourself, it would cost more than $32. So that's way more. So that's a big benefit, which really is $500,000, because there's something in the Army that you get called death gratuity, which is $100,000 that you get within 24 hours of you being deceased. Now that money, granted, they don't, specify and say, hey, you can only use it for this, but that money is to help with funeral costs, memorial costs, anything that you have to do to bury your loved one.
And that's separate
from your life insurance.
Life insurance. So you get an additional $100,000 if something was to ever happen.
It's almost like a relief fund, because that happens within 24 hours of the deceased. The life insurance, as you know, which with any life insurance, it'll take a little longer than 24 hours. Yeah. So, there's something to help your family as far as, planning funerals or picking out a casket, picking out a place to bury that person. That all costs. So that $100,000 is to alleviate that.
And, sometimes it's hard to think about life insurance and a life ending, but it's very important, even on the civilian side in the military, that you take the time out to really stress your loved ones getting life insurance, you getting life insurance. So if something was to happen, that everything will be covered and taken care of.
Correct.
But we want this handsome young man to stay around forever and ever. So that's pretty much it with life insurance.
Basically, yeah.
The next thing is having benefits with VA loan, which is buying a home, building a home. So the biggest thing with the VA loan that's different than any other loan, conventional or what's the other one? All the other ones that they have is the VA loan. No down payment.
Yes.
Do not have to put a down payment down, even if you're a first-time home buyer or you're not a first-time home buyer.
Because I'll disclose something. Before we joined the Army, which we spoke about in our first video, we kind of took some hits as far as our credit. So our credit's not the best, but we purchased our first home in June. Yeah, June. And we were able to get approved for 200,000,
250.
250. We could have pushed 250, but 200,000 initially. They try to work with you. They do try to get you in a home, and it's that no down payment is huge because
And our interest rate is 3.25. So
correct. So I mean, it's a win-win situation.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's up to 500,000, so you
Yes.
can't go past 500,000. If you're looking for a house over that, then the VA loan's not for you. But if you served in the military and you go VA loan route, that is, in my opinion, the best route to go, especially for first-time home buyers, because there's a lot of things that we didn't know that us jumping into buying a home, we was like, hey, tired of paying rent, tired of paying BH for this, and let's just buy a home. Let's own it. We'll pay it off 15, 30 years, however long it takes, and that's something that we own. That's an asset to us. And it's a lot of things that goes into home buying that the average person doesn't know. So,
and we can do a whole separate video on our home buying process and our experience behind that.
Because there was an experience.
Yes, it was. But another thing that is good with the VA loan is you don't have a no mortgage insurance.
Insurance, yes.
So what that is, if you on a civilian side and you're not using a VA loan, when you don't put at least 20% down, you have to have a mortgage insurance,
which is basically just collateral saying, hey, if you foreclose on this house, this is our money that you're paying us in case you can't hold up your end of the bargain.
And with a VA loan, you do not have that,
which is huge because as far as mortgage insurance, add another $200 to $300 upon your mortgage. So you might be looking at, you might get a deal on a nice house and thinking, okay, I'm only paying 9 something, 8 something on my mortgage. But when you add that insurance, now you're paying $1,000, $1,100. So that's huge. That is huge.
And so another thing, I know he mentioned that the VA loan you could get up to for $500,000, but it's actually unlimited. So, for example, if we purchase a home, once we pay down this home, that money we can reuse that money with the VA loan. So you can't use no more than $500 at one time, but once you pay a home off, you're able to continue to use a VA loan, which is really, really good. The next thing is tuition assistance. And
I'll let her take that because
I'm currently using it. But tuition assistance, now he has a post 9/11, but they also have, is that the same thing, the GI Bill? I thought it was two different things.
It is kind of two different things. It's small variances.
Yeah, so they have a GI Bill and they have post 9/11. But that's for him as far as he can use that while he's in the military. He can use it after he gets out of the military, or he can even transfer that to his dependents, his kids, his wife, etc. And before he transfer any, he has to be in the military for 6 years. So he hasn't met that mark, but we do plan on transferring that evenly, dividing that evenly for the kids when he do make his 6th year in. After you transfer months of schooling to whoever your dependents are, you owe the military an extra 4 years. So he's gonna do it early, so he don't want to wait till the last minute.
I'm in here for 20, so
yeah, but like our kids would be basically going to college when it's time for him to retire. So for example, if he waits to the last minute, if he waits till Kason turns 17 or 18 to transfer those years, he will have to stay in the military over his 20 for him to be able to transfer that.
The only one it wouldn't apply to is Aubrey, my oldest son, because he will be 18 when I'm 38. I'll still have, I retire 44, so I'll still have about 7 years left.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and knock that out so that way, none of them, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
20,
So also with the GI Bill, he has to wait till he transfer it. But I think that's it with the GI Bill.
I mean, the GI Bill is the GI Bill is cool. If you're in the military, for all those people in the military, you can literally go to school and not do any soldier work, and you will get BAH.
Oh yeah.
You'll get all of that based on your area. So if you
Yeah.
go to school in Miami, guess what? You're getting Miami BAH, which is
Yeah.
very, very high. So my children will experience some of that. I think they will get BAH, but since I'm dividing it between three of them,
yeah,
it won't be as much as if we just had
Mhm.
one. It's like, hey, go to school. I got my GI Bill, because then he would get, hey, how much is rent in that area? Well, you get this much.
yeah.
So, you know, they'll have to split it, but it's still, you know, free
And then
money towards schools.
With the GI Bill post 9/11, it's 36 months. So
Yes.
that equals 3 years. So we have 3 kids. So they'll each get a year free of schooling. So
Correct.
that's great. And then another thing with no, I think that's it with the GI Bill. So another benefit you can get for tuition assistance is something that I'm taking advantage of now, and it's called the MyCAA program. And the MyCAA program is for the spouse, for the military spouse, and they cover up to $4,000 in tuition assistance. They only pay for the tuition, and you can get a certificate, an associate's, or a diploma. So I said it's free. Why not? You do, if the school has you paying for books or renting books or stuff like that, you do have to pay for that, and you have to pay for like small things that it doesn't pay for. Like this semester is like $56 for the other little fees that the school has, which isn't bad. So, but it does cover up to $4,000. That's 2 years, basically, if you go and get an associate's. And yeah, that's my CAA. So that is something that you can also take advantage of. You want to do the next one?
What is it, paid time off?
Yeah.
Paid time off. So basically leave. If you're in the military, you know about leave. And you love leave. I'm an S1. I know how people love leave. So basically within the Army, you get 2.5 days of leave every month. So what I'm saying is, if you don't take leave for a year, you have 30 days of leave at the end of that year. And what I'm saying is leave is basically, you can say, put in a leave form, DA-31, commander can sign it. You can put it in for 30 days and say, hey, sir, for 30 days, I'm going to stay at home. I'm not going to worry about the Army. Y'all go on with y'all operations without me, and I'm going to get paid for 30 days of me staying at home.
And with his job, it's not hard to take leave, and they offer a lot of block leave, which is a lot of people taking leave at the same time.
Correct. Block leave is basically just the command team saying, hey, I know it's commander's discretion, because it is. Certain stipulations are different: emergency leave, convalescent. I can get into that in another video, break that down as to how that works. But block leave is basically saying, hey, anybody and everybody who wants to take leave, these are the days you can take, and I'm not going to say no. Basically, submit your leave form, I will sign it, and you're gone.
Yep. So that is the whole time paid off, the little benefit for that. And the next thing is PCSing. And if you're not in the military, you don't know what that means. PCSing is when you are going to your new duty station. You are moving to your
permanent change of station. And if you are in the military, you enjoy this, because don't get me wrong, it's a hassle. It's a hassle to pack up your whole home and go somewhere else that you know nothing about most of the time. But you love it because you get paid to do it. You get paid to do it. You don't understand. Like, literally, I was an initial entry soldier. Basic AIT Airborne. Got here. As soon as I got here, I'm in the briefings, because you do it, you know, you got an in-process post. Everybody hates in-process because it takes forever. But you in-process post, and I'm getting there, and they're like, hey, man, did your wife accompany you? I'm like, yeah, you know, she followed the bus. All right, cool, put it down. You got a kid? I'm like, yeah, I have a son. And then she's pregnant for my other son. Put that down. And they paid us basically a relocation fee. Now with the Army, you have 2 options. when it comes to moving and this is separate. This is separate from the other thing. When it comes to moving your family, and your household goods, you can do two things. You can have the Army come in, pack everything up, put it on a truck, a plane, ship it to where you're going, set it up for you, or you can do it yourself, which is something called a Diddy move, which is do-it-yourself move. When you do a Diddy move, it's basically saying, hey, I'm going to rent the truck, I'm going to do whatever I got to do, I'm going to pack my stuff up. You pay me for the weight that I'm moving and the distance that I'm moving.
Hassle.
Correct. Because sometimes, honestly, depending on how far you're going and the weight that you have and rank, because it also depends on rank. So the higher you're ranked, the more they will give you. You can come out on the better end of it because, it may only cost you $1,200, $1,300 to move, but the Army may say, hey, with your rank, the weight of the stuff you was moving in the distance, this is $3,500. So now you're up like over $1,000 of money that you didn't really have to come out of pocket for, so you good. So I mean, it all depends on your preference. Like me, honestly, we did a Diddy move from Louisiana here. I would never do it again. Ever do it again. Ever. Because it's just a lot of hassle and it's a lot of manual labor. Like, hey, Army,
come and pick our stuff
whoever
up
y'all
now.
can hire, come get it.
Okay, let's go.
Correct.
But the next thing is health and dental and eye and health insurance. Of course, it is free. It is free. Free health. Civilian side, I don't know any type of job that's giving you free health.
Correct.
Two things. You can get around. It's two. You have Prime TRICARE and you have Select TRICARE. We have Prime. Prime, the difference between the two is referrals. So if you want to go to another doctor or if you want to, you can't just go to any doctor. Like I can't just go to the chiropractor because my back's hurting. You have to be referred by your primary.
Correct.
In order to not get copays and things like that. So if you choose Prime, you have to get referrals for everything. I had to get referrals when I was pregnant to go to a dermatologist. I had to get referrals pretty much for everything. You have to get referrals for everything. Yeah. If you have Select TRICARE, then you have to pay a deductible and a copay, but you can go anywhere you want. If you want to go to the chiropractor, if something hurts, you just have to pay the copay, and then you have to meet your deductible and then start paying copays. If you want to go to
you kind of
anywhere, you just have to pay copays and meet your deductible.
Correct. Long story short, your health insurance, just regular health, dental, eye, whatever, it's going to be cheaper because you're in the military. Regardless if it's use military doctors or you go off post, it's going to be a lot cheaper.
It's going to be a lot cheaper.
So I mean, that's the thing people don't get when they go job hunting is, you have your salary and you want to look for the salary, but you also want to look for benefits. Because getting this stuff independently is very, very expensive. So, that's one thing that I feel like is a very big attraction when it comes to the military.
And I know we don't have eye yet, but it's not expensive. But with dental, we do have dental for me and the 3 kids. It is $32 a month. And that we don't have to pay any copays or anything like that. Like if something is wrong, like if we need a root canal or something like that, we would have to pay something out of pocket, but it won't be much. But yeah. Now for people that are in the military, he will have to go to all doctors on post. Like he has to go to. So
there's a stipulation because if you want to get operated by a civilian doctor, you can request a civilian dentist to work on you. But that's something for another video that I go into.
The next thing and the biggest thing, compensation.
Yes.
What everybody talk about, what they be saying? You go in the military, you get rich.
That's not true at all.
Millions.
That is not true.
Millions.
That is not true. That's not true. But if you're good with your money,
it's not true, y'all.
it's not true.
We're
at all.
not millionaires over
But
here.
if you good with your money, then you can work it out. I mean, the Army, as far as base pay, some people look at it and be like, well, that ain't nothing. But
you have to think about everything else that you're getting.
Correct. Because it's two different spectrums of it. It's a married soldier and then it's a single soldier. So as a married soldier, you're gonna get BAH, which is basic allowance for housing.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna look at your area, they're gonna get a means, and they're gonna say, hey, you live in Fayetteville, the average is about $12.33 for you to live, which is what I get paid.
Isn't it based off your? We're saying it's
based
off of an E4 rank.
Correct.
We're talking based off an E4 rank.
Correct. It's rank as far as living conditions as well as for that area.
Right.
For housing allowance, you'll get $11.56 as an E4 at Fort Bragg.
Yeah.
So that's just for living. So that's on top of your base pay, and that is allowance. So that's not tax. Your base pay is going to be taxed. Any allowance that the Army gives you will not be taxed. So you'll get a BAH, which is basic allowance for housing. So let's say it's $11.56. Now you'll get, since you're married, you'll get BAS, which is basic allowance for subsistence, groceries, food. So that's $3.67. Now that doesn't change, no matter your rank or anything. You're going to get $3.67 regardless.
Right.
You could be an E1, you can be a SAR major, an E9, which is the highest you can go as enlisted. You're still going to get $3.67.
Yeah.
So you'll get that, not taxed. You'll get that fully, $3.67 and some change, however much it is. You'll get that every month fully, as well as your BAH.
Now with the BAH, I do want to mention that it's based off what duty station that you're at. But if you move to somewhere that's far from your duty station and the cost of living is higher, it's not based off of where you're at with the cost of living. It's based off of your duty station.
Correct. So they'll do the numbers for Fort Stewart. I don't care if you live in Atlanta and you travel from Atlanta to Savannah every day. You're going to get Fort Stewart prices.
Yes. So just be mindful of that. Because if we were to buy a house in Raleigh, even though Raleigh is a bigger city and more expensive, they would still give us the same BAH as if we
soldiers have that misconception a lot, because being S1, I work with that as far as fixing soldiers' pay. Hey, I need BAH. Hey, I think my BAH is wrong.
Yeah.
No, you're entitled to Fort Bragg pay. I don't care if you live in Charlotte. I don't care where you live. If you commute, that is your decision. You're entitled to Fort Bragg BAH.
Yeah.
So whatever that number is, that's what you get.
So that's a misconception. And so for your base pay, I know we kind of going all over the place, but for your base pay, you get a 2.5% interest. 2.5% raise every year. Yeah. So
that's crazy. She know my pay better than me.
Oh yeah, because
I don't be tracking that.
I handle the money. But yeah, and then he gets a clothing allowance once a year. You do get a clothing allowance once a year
on your anniversary,
and that also depends on your rank.
Rank and time of service. Correct. So the longer you've been in, the higher your rank, you're gonna get more money.
Yeah, and I think as an E4, he got $250.
Around $250.
Yeah.
$250.
So and then he's airborne, so this may not apply to everybody because everybody don't want to jump out of planes. Yeah. But for airborne, he does get an extra $150.
Not taxed.
Because that's in.
It's basically an allowance.
Yeah.
Hazardous duty pay.
$150 a month.
And just for future reference on a different video, you get so much more when you're deployed. When you're deployed, I'm going to talk about why soldiers want to get deployed. One of the biggest things is money. So I won't get into that now, but just know, if you are looking to join the military and you are a little nervous about deployment, because every soldier is, I don't care.
Right.
You know, some people come into it for deployment, hey, I want to get deployed, but there's always that initial nerve.
Yeah. That's just some of the benefits that you can get by being in the military. Right. And this varies depending on your rank, your time in service, if you're married, how many dependents you have, all of that. All of that is goes into factor. But just to give y'all just the ending total amount, estimated as far as income for an E4 airborne paratrooper with dependents, you can be making roughly around $54,000. And then with a E4 Airborne without dependents, it'll be roughly around $35,000.
So basically, just marry whoever you see on the street. Just be like, hey, I'm in the Army. Like, you want some money? Let's get married.
Do not do a contract.
Don't do that, because I know a lot of soldiers that do that in my old unit, and I've seen it end up very, very badly. Like, no, all jokes to the side. Like,
but we're not
I've
gonna
seen
get
it
into
end
that.
up
We're
very,
not
very
gonna be
badly.
name dropping up in here.
No,
okay?
no, I'm never gonna name drop. But I'm just saying I've seen it happen, and I've seen it end up very, very badly for their soldiers. So don't do it. Please don't do it.
But that is the end of this video. And if you have any questions for this gentleman right here who runs Military Mondays with the Landlords,
just comment. I'm gonna answer all questions
every Monday.
Hey, and what we talked about does not include bonuses.
Oh yes.
If you can get a bonus, I got $11,000 bonus. You can get more combat. I'll give you a secret. Combat MOSs give big bonuses. You wanna know why? Because nobody wants to be combat MOSs. But if you want to be a combat MOS, I'm not judging you. Like, 11 Bravos are awesome. I'm still in an infantry brigade. I just came from an infantry battalion and I miss it. So I want to let you know, hey man, you combat people that want to go and shoot people in the face, you know, this is for kids, so whatever. But all those people that want to do that, man, it's big bonuses. Big bonuses.
So what do we have to tell them, babe? We want y'all to like,
subscribe,
comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so y'all can get updates on all of our new videos, especially the Military Monday ones. And
this is everything with the Landlords.
Everything with the Landlords. Until next time, peace.